Dr. Silby is an associate professor of European and military history at Alverna College in Reading, Pennsylvania. He teaches courses on modern military history, guerrilla conflicts, and the role of popular will in waging war. So very relevant to what's going on in our society today. His first book was The British Working Class and Enthusiasm for War. It was published by Frank Cass in 2005. His second book, A War of Empire and Frontier, the Philippine-American War, was published earlier this year to critical acclaim, and that is the book that we're here discussing today. In a recent article in Slate, he brought the lessons of the Philippines to modern-day Iraq and points out similar issues that dogged both campaigns. So we're very much looking forward to hearing from Dr. Silby today. And just join me in welcoming one of the nation's rising stars in the field of military history. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry I'm late. I was stuck in traffic on 16th Street. I'm pretty sure that my car engine stopped, but I just left it there in the middle of the road. So it may or may not be there when I get back. What I'd like to do, and obviously this is somewhat more of an intimate setting, but what I'd like to do is talk for a while about the Philippine-American War in general, and then open it up for discussion from anyone and everyone, and you're everyone at the moment. So we'll be relying on you for lots of good conversation to talk about it. One of the issues that struck me about, and I want to come to why I was so interested in this war. One of the issues that struck me with the war in Iraq a couple of years ago, before I started this project, was the realization that the United States historically has not been bad at guerrilla wars, has not been bad at dealing with insurgencies. And in fact, if you look back at the 19th century, in particular, if you look at the American West in the 19th century, the United States has actually had proven very effective at fighting. Gentlemen, you've just tripled and quadrupled the audience. Come on in. I'm just starting, so you're in time. The United States historically, in the 19th century at least, had actually been very good at fighting guerrilla wars. And the American conquest of the West is a fairly good example of that, with all sorts of methods that we find more or less dubious to this day. And so my question became, looking at the war in Iraq, is why, what had happened? And I was struck in particular by the war in the Philippines as a good case study for not necessarily trying to analyze Iraq, but at least begin to explore the issue of how did the U.S. go from being being relatively effective at insurgencies and counterinsurgencies to the difficulties and severe problems that the Iraq situation has fallen into at the moment.